Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5-Minute Reedmaker. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and click subscribe for me. That way you always know when I drop a new episode, and it's easier for other people to find my channel and to become themselves better Reedmakers and happier musicians. Thank you. While I was at IDRS this past summer, a friend handed me a new shaper tip, a new shaper template for the Reeds and Stuff shaping machine, which, as you know, I love. And, it's a great thing being an influencer. People just hand you things like shapers that they happen to have doubles of, duplicates of. And I know nothing about this shape. The name stamped on it or, engraved in it is MANU, M-A-N-U. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether that refers to a person. I've done zero research on the topic. But, you give me a shaper tip, I'm going to experiment with it. So I made a bunch of reeds earlier this summer off of that MANU shape. And I really liked them. I found them very attractive. The shape seems to be a little bit wider. In fact, it's wider than any of the shapes I regularly use. But it's not very flared. It has a nice straightness here. And I was immediately drawn in by how easy it was to make a reed. Maybe it took me an extra day of finishing to get it settled down. The reeds were a little open initially. But what felt incredibly attractive about this shape over the summer is that it really held pitch down and gave me sort of this silky sound that was never sharp. And that's not a bad thing, I thought. As I moved into the actual orchestra season and started doing more work, I began to remember why we do not like reeds that are extremely down and dirty, low in pitch. Because even though I can play that MANU reed up to 440, I can play it at 440 in my own home under controlled conditions, looking at my music and looking at a tuner. Of course, being in the orchestra is different. And it is much more frequent that somebody around you, even in a professional group, is playing a little bit higher and you have to warm your sound up to get there. Or you might be the fifth of a chord or the minor third of a chord and really have to boost that pitch a little bit. Still within the realm of, the orchestra is playing at approximately 440, but this particular note needs to go a little bit. And the thing that I have been feeling with MANU compared to my other Joshua 2 and Ruth -2, which are the shapes I most frequently use for myself, I couldn't get there. So the impact I was getting was that frequently, if I was playing a note that tends to sit low anyway, a low G, a low F, a low E, the actual symptom that I was having is that the note would just sort of stop. I'd be playing, and then it would just go, and my first thought is, I just need to practice harder. But my second, more correct thought was, this is a reed that is flat, and I am biting to make it come up to pitch, and some of these notes won't stand for that. So you can't bite a low G. Low G is just going to be what it is. The best you can do is try to brighten it a little bit, raising your eyebrows, sending sound out the front of the oboe. It wasn't working for me. So even though I have several very attractive MANU reeds in my case, it's not going to be a shape that I normally use. But I'll take a look. Let's show it to you because maybe this will be fantastic for you. Here are 3 reeds that are out of my actual oboe case. Like, I have taken these 2 gigs recently. This one is on my normal Joshua +2 shaper template shape. This one is off my Ruth -2. This is a hand shape, and it's, as you can see, a bit wider than Joshua. It's a little bit wider, I think, all the way along. It's got certainly more width at the very top. And correspondingly has a little bit of a deeper sound. But here, in contrast, is MANU. And MANU feels a little fatter to me all the way through this area. I've been noticing that MANU gives me quite a healthy opening of the reed. I guess that's not too different between all of these reeds, but the Joshua is a little more closed. Of course, that's also something that is variable based on the scrape that you use. It's based on how old the reeds are and how much you have played them. So, you know, this might not be a meaningful indicator for you, but it's interesting. MANU in general gives me the impression of being much more rectangular, like it's much thicker in this area and not quite so flared, whereas Joshua really slims in here. And now let me play these at you and just show you what I'm feeling and hearing. So here's my Ruth. This is quite a new reed, so, you know, don't judge. But I think that this has many of the characteristics that I associate with this shape. Like, it's got a nice sound. It feels resonant and round. I find it quite comfortable to play in tune, up and down. Here's my Joshua. This is a little bit of an older reed, and I definitely played it for 2 hours of octet work just a few nights ago. But the thing that I really like and resonate with about Joshua Plus 2 is that it holds its pitch up top so well. It's very easy for me as a principal oboe player to play frequently up in the second and third octaves without getting fatigued. And here's MANU. This is a reed that, like, I have played in public some, but I nearly always find myself putting it away again before the gig actually starts. Even the crow seems a little bit low right now. It has a flexibility that feels incredibly attractive to me. I really like it when I am in isolation. And the two things that happen to me in the orchestra, and this is me, this is not necessarily you. The two things that happen to me in the orchestra on this reed are that I fatigue very fast because I'm really having to hold on to pitch and manipulate it a lot. And the aforementioned difficulty with any low register notes trying to bring them up to the pitch of the group around me. And so for those reasons, this is unlikely to be for me a regular reed that I use, a regular shape that I use. But of the wider shapes I've tried, I like it maybe the most. The sound is nice. The comfort of it when I have control over the pitch center of the world is very attractive to me. And if you are a person who routinely struggles with being very sharp, or if you are a person who regularly plays second oboe and wants just a little more flex and pleasantry down there, it might be a shape that you're interested in trying. And I do have it up on my website as an option if you wanted to buy some shaped cane from it. I want to thank you, Doug, for the gift of this MANU shape. If anybody here in the comments knows anything about MANU, why it is named that, what it is based on, what's the big idea with this MANU shape. Please let us know. And meanwhile, this has been a 5-minute Reedmaker episode. You can follow these short videos right here on YouTube. You can subscribe if you wish. I hope you will. And if you want to reach me to order Reeds or Cane, or a copy of my book, The Happiest Musician, or to ask me a question that I can answer in a future 5-minute Reedmaker episode, you can find me at jennetingle.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.